Imagine you are in a data analyst interview and the interviewer asks you, can you write a query to find the second highest salary in each department? And suddenly you are thinking, okay, wait, do I use a subquery? Do I use group by? Or do I use something else? If that has ever happened to you, this video is exactly for you. Today we are going to cover 5 SQL window functions that show up in almost every data analyst interview. Row number, rank, dense rank, lag, and lead. And by the end of this video, you will know what each one does, when to use it, and more importantly, why they behave differently. Because yes, they are similar, but interviewer love testing the difference. Alright, let's jump in. First, let's just look at the data we are working with. So here is our table. We have employee name, department, and salary. Pretty simple. Now imagine I ask you a question like this. What is the total salary paid in each department? Most people would immediately think, okay, that's easy, just use group by. And yes, that works. But there is a small problem with group by. When you use group by, your rows get collapsed and you no longer see each employee individually. You only see the department totals. But sometimes we want both things at the same time, the individual employee rows and calculation across their department. And that's exactly where window functions come in. Window functions allow us to calculate things across a group of rows while still keeping every row visible in the result. The group of rows the function looks at is called the window, and we define that window using the over keyword. Let me show you an example. Let's calculate the total salary for department, but still keep every employee row. Select name, department, salary, then sum of salary over partition by department as department total from employees. Alright, now let's run this. Now look at the result. Each employee is still listed, but next to them we also see the total salary of their department. So we did not lose any rows, we just added extra information. That's the core idea of window functions. Now let's move to the most common ones used in interviews. The first window function we are going to look at is row number. Row number assign a unique sequential number to each row like 1, 2, 3, 4 and so on, which is always unique. No ties. Now let's say we want to rank employees by salary inside each department. So the highest salary in each department should be number 1, then the next highest salary should be number 2 and so on. Let's write a query to do exactly that. Select name, department, salary, then row number over partition by department, order by salary descending as row number from employees. Alright, let's run this query and see what happens. Now look at the engineering department. Alice has the highest salary, so she gets row number 1. Bob and Charlie both have 85k, but row number does not care about ties. It simply assigns the next available numbers. So one of them becomes 2 and the other becomes 3. Which one gets which depends on the internal ordering. Now here is where this becomes useful in interviews. Suppose the interviewer asks find the highest paid employee in each department. A very common question. We can use row number. For that, first we rank employees inside each department, then we keep only rows where the rank equals 1. Let me show you. Select star from, then a subquery, select name, department, salary, then row number over partition by department order by salary descending as RN from employees as ranked where Rn equal to 1. Now let's run this. Perfect. Now we get exactly one employee for department, the highest paid one. That's a classic row number interview pattern. Now let's look at the rank. Rank is similar to row number, but it behaves differently when there are ties. With rank, if two numbers have the same value, they receive the same rank. Let's try the same ranking example again, but this time using rank instead of row number. So the query becomes select name, department salary, then rank over partition by department order by salary descending as RNK from employees. Let's run it. Now look again at the engineering department. Alice is still rank 1. Bob and Charlie both have the same salary, so they both get rank 2. But notice something interesting. The next rank becomes 4, not 3. Why? Because rank skips numbers after ties. Think of it like a race. If two people finish second place, then nobody finished third place. So the next position becomes fourth. That's exactly how rank behaves. And this behavior is actually a common interview trap. Sometimes interviewer asks, find the second highest salary. What? If two employees are tied at the highest salary, then rank 2 might not exist. So your query could return no rows. That's why we need to understand the difference between ranking functions. This brings us to third function, dense rank. Dense rank also handles ties, but unlike rank, it does not skip numbers. Let's run a query where we compare all three ranking functions side by side. That will make the difference very clear. Select name, department, salary, then row number over partition by department order by salary descending as row number, then rank over partition by department order by salary descending as RNK, then dense rank over partition by department order by salary descending as dense rank from employees. Let's execute this query. Now look at engineering again. Bob and Charlie both have 85k. Row number gives them 2 and 3. Rank gives them 2 and 2. Then jumps to 4. But dense rank gives them 2 and 2 and the next value becomes 3. No gaps. That's the key difference. And because of this, when interviewer asks find the nth highest salary, dense rank is usually the safest answer. Now, the next two functions are a little different. Lag and lead are not about ranking rows. They are about comparing one row with another row nearby. These functions are extremely common in time series analysis. Let's look at an example with monthly sales data. Here I am creating a small dataset with revenue for each month. Now let's run this query. What lag does is very simple. It looks back at the previous row. So February can see January's revenue, March can see February's revenue. January shows null because there is no previous row. This pattern is used at all time for things like month over month growth, daily comparisons, year over year analysis. Now, lead works the same way, but in the opposite direction. Instead of looking backward, it looks forward to the next row. Let's run another query using lead. Now, each month can see the revenue of next month. January sees February, February sees March, and May shows null because there is no next row. Alright, quick recap. Row number, unique numbers, no ties. Rank, ties allowed, but gaps appears. Dense rank, ties allowed, no gaps. Lag, look at the previous row. Lead, look at the next row. If you are preparing for interviews, these five are absolutely essential. That's it for this one. These five window functions show up in almost every data analyst interview. So practice them, try modifying the examples, try writing your own queries. If this helped you, like the video and subscribe the channel. See you in the next one.